Turning now to Europe's pushback against President Trump's efforts to take over the territory of Greenland. On Monday, the president doubled down on tariff threats. He also raised an eyebrow or two by suggesting that he might be doing all of this in part because he thinks that Norway should have given him a Nobel Peace Prize, which the government of Norway has no role in. It comes as world leaders begin together in Davos, Switzerland, for the World Economic Forum. Holly Williams joins us now with the latest. Holly, good morning. They all have a lot to discuss in Davos these days.
Good morning, Gayle. Look, some in Europe call the president's threats against American allies economic blackmail. The Trump administration, though, claims it needs to take over Greenland because of Russian and Chinese threats in the Arctic.
We have to have it.
President Trump isn't backing down on his push to secure Greenland for the US. It's a message he'll likely take to Europe tomorrow at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
I've done more than any other American president for NATO by far. And we'll see how that goes. But Greenland is very important.
The truth is that America's NATO allies in Europe are angry and shocked.
We see this as unnecessary and irresponsible.
It is not easy when we wake up every morning to new threats.
Overnight, President Trump posted this image on social media. American diplomacy as we've never seen it before. In a telephone interview with NBC News Monday, President Trump said he would 100% follow through on threats to slap extra tariffs on 8 European nations next month, unless a deal is reached to sell the Arctic island to the US. When asked if he'd use force to seize Greenland, Trump responded, no comment. Speaking in Switzerland, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent cautioned Europe against retaliating with tariffs against the US, as some countries have suggested.
I think it would be very unwise.
This comes after an extraordinary text exchange between President Trump and Norway's Prime Minister over the weekend, in which Trump said he no longer has an obligation to think purely of peace, since he wasn't awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, falsely claiming the Norwegian government is responsible for choosing the recipients. Trump denied yesterday that his stance on Greenland is tied to that award.
No, I don't care about the Nobel Prize. If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, they're just kidding.
The president's posts on Truth Social continued last night, including what appear to be text messages from world leaders, like French President Emmanuel Macron, who apparently told Trump point blank, "I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland." The president also posted this doctored image, what appears to be a real Oval Office meeting with European leaders from back in August, with a fake map of Canada and Greenland covered in the American flag. It's all setting the stage for an interesting meeting in Davos tomorrow at the World Economic Forum. And it's perhaps ironic, guys, that the motto for this year's event is, quote, a spirit of dialogue.
Well, there's going to be a lot of dialogue.
I was going to say,
There'll be a lot of that.
And it'll be quite spirited, is what I would think. Holly, thank you. Good again. 2 days in a row we have you at the table. You hitting the road today?
Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky. I say lucky us. Thanks a lot.